Hi, I'm Jackie with Veterans Rideshare, and today I have with me Tammy Mette. She's with our accounting team. She's with Veterans Rideshare, VRS Trucking, with all of our entities. If you need numbers done right, Tammy is your girl to go to. So today we're going to have a little chat about how she came to be with VRS, what she loves about it, and I want to hear her story because one of the special things with Veterans Rideshare is we hire veterans, but we also hire military family members as well. And so Tammy and I are both daughters of veterans, and I think that's just another wonderful testament to what we're doing here and part of our mission. So, Tammy, thank you so much for being here today.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And you and I are pretty unique because we both work remotely. So I'm over here interviewing you from Florida and you're in
Las Vegas.
woo, aren't we in fun places? And here we are
Yes,
working.
yes, yes. And there's a couple other people here in Las Vegas also working from their homes.
That's incredible. I,
So
I love that opportunity. And do you enjoy working from home?
I do. I do. I have had mixed experience with working in offices and working from home,
Mhm.
and I enjoy both. But yeah, I'm working from home right now. So
Great. It's a
yeah.
wonderful opportunity, and we're always looking for people. I know we do have other remote possibilities as well. So
Hmm.
if you're interested in joining the team, I'll go ahead and put our website up here. You can go to veteransrideshare.com.
Hmm.
So, Tammy, I'd love to hear about you. How did you get into accounting in the first place? Tell me a little bit about your story.
Well, I originally got into accounting. My first job was accounting for, actually billing for a computer leasing company. And that was back in the 90s when computers were brand new. They weren't in everybody's homes. Um, but I was doing the billing. I was a billing coordinator, and I moved my way up to management. And that was actually during the dot-com era, and that company ended up going out of business. But I stayed in accounting from that point forward. Yeah, so I made my way here. I went on an interview, and I've always been looking for a company that I'm I want to stay at. I want to continue to grow with a company. And I remember uh, interviewing for the position of accounting, a staff accountant for your leasing solution, which is one of the entities. And I remember interviewing with the individual, and he said to me that I have to be ready to stop at a moment's notice, move on to something else, come back to it. There was just a lot of work to be done, and so I was gung ho, and ready to take on this new job opportunity. And they hired me, and I would say within 3 months of working for your leasing solution, I knew that this was the company that I was going to retire at. I'm going to work for the rest of my life, if they'll have me, for this company. I love the people. I love the job. I love the work. With accounting, it's monotony. You do things over and over and over again the same way, right? Not with this company, not with the different entities. There's different ways of having to do the accounting for the different entities.
Mhm.
So I just really enjoy it. I just went on a vacation for the first time in like 10 years. I went on a family vacation. We went to Mexico, Puerto Vallarta, and I ended up logging in and working a couple hours a day while I was on vacation because I enjoy working for this company. I enjoy working with the people. It's an incredible experience. And I'm so thrilled and so happy and so lucky to be working for this company. So yeah, now I originally was hired to work for your leasing solution. Now I'm working for VRS Trucking, Veterans Rideshare, doing kind of backup accounting for all of our other entities, but mainly VRS Trucking and your leasing solution is who I'm solely focused on. So
That's amazing. And
yeah.
working on vacation, because so many people, you go
Mhm.
on vacation to escape, to get away. But
Right.
if your life is nice and you love your job,
Hmm.
what you don't have
Oh,
to run from it.
I know. And yeah, a couple people came back to me and said, "Why were you working?" I'm like, "Because I like it. I like doing what I'm doing." So yeah. So it was nice. It was nice.
That's incredible. So,
Yeah.
how long have you been now with the company?
Okay. So let me see. I was hired in December of 2017, so almost a year and a half.
Great,
Yeah.
great. And
Yeah.
have you met anyone face to face, or have you just been,
Oh, yeah.
yeah?
I actually travel to the corporate office in California in Ramona.
Mhm.
I try and get out there at least once a month so that I can see everybody and talk to them. And, I work from there for, a week out of the month. So,
Mhm. Oh,
yeah,
that's nice. Good. I look
I'm,
forward to doing that. I've been
yeah,
interviewing so many people, and I look forward to meeting as many of you in person as possible.
right, right.
You said the people make all the difference, and
They do.
so many
They
have said
do.
they will stay here if they'll have me, then I'll stay here. So
I know. I know. I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky. So,
amazing. That's
yeah,
wonderful. Now, I mentioned that with Veterans Rideshare and VRS Trucking and your leasing solutions, we do love to hire veterans, military families,
right,
dependents. And so I really want to hear your story because I think it's
right.
incredible. My dad was in the Army, yours was in the
Uh-huh.
Navy, but it's a
Hmm.
pretty amazing story. So
Yes, yes.
tell me
Well,
today.
um, I was born in Evansville, Indiana, and my mother, I was at the age of 3, and my brother was at the age of 5, and my mother became a single mother. And when I turned 5, she was introduced to a gentleman that was in the Navy that was stationed at the time in Nashville. And they met halfway for this blind date. And they hit it off right away. And he was 21 years old. My mother was 27 years old. And she had 2 kids. And he was, I mean, 21 years old. He fell head over heels in love with this woman. And 6 months later, they got married. And then 6 months later, that man adopted me and my brother. I was 5 when he adopted me, and my brother was 7. And that is when our lives just changed for the better. I mean, if he wouldn't have come into our lives, we'd still be, uh, stuck in a house in my grandmother's backyard in Evansville, Indiana, in a 900 square foot, 2-bedroom house, eating beans and cornbread. But yeah, he adopted me. I call him my father. But he was transferred. He was in the early stages of the Navy, and he was transferred a lot. So we moved around a lot until we finally settled in California. We moved to the Philippines as well. We were there for 2 years. We came back when I was about 15 years old, and he ended up retiring lieutenant commander in 1988, I believe. So after 20 years, so it was a great adventure, and something that I noticed when I went in to interview for your leasing solution. It was in December, and in the conference room where I was interviewing, there was a big sign that said Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And that's something you don't see every day anymore at Christmas time is the words Merry Christmas. So I knew immediately that I wanted to work for this company because this company is, you know, puts it all out there, has values. Uh, yeah, so that was a turning point for me as well. So
That's
yeah, that's
incredible.
that's my story.
Wonderful. It's wonderful. Well, I know that our president and founder, Chris Pozek, who's an Army
Mhm.
veteran himself,
Mhm.
he has worked with me a couple of times. We coordinated, I had a friend stationed in Afghanistan, and he organized for all sorts of Christmas cards and goodies to be sent over there to the deployed troops, which was
Right.
amazing.
Right.
And he's done giveaways as well. So what I think is wonderful is not only are we putting veterans and their families to work, but we're also constantly giving back to the veteran and military community as part of our mission. So how do you
Absolutely.
feel about that?
I think that is a wonderful thing. My our, my family, my father, he was in the military during the Cold War, so he didn't have to go off to war, and it was, of course, before 9/11. So we were very fortunate, but there's a lot of veterans out there that aren't as fortunate as our family, and they need help. And the fact that Chris, puts himself out there and helps all these other veterans, I mean, it's you just don't see that in other people. And Chris is just so wonderful and so giving. Um, it's just so great to work for him. It really is.
I
It's
can't agree
it's
more.
a pleasure. It's a pleasure every day to work for him.
It really does matter who you're
Hmm.
working with, who you're working for, who's at the
Right.
top. And what's great about Chris is he'll also like roll up his sleeves and get in the trenches too. He's not just there in a chair in
Yes.
an office somewhere. He's
He's
working.
an open door policy, and he made that very clear to me, that anytime I have any issues, I go directly to him, and I talk to him 2 or 3 times a day. And I'm just a little accounting person, but he makes himself available to me at all times. And I get up in the morning and I log on to my computer and I see he's been working since 3 a.m.
Yes.
It's like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, yeah. So, and then, I'll be working until 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and he'll still be on the email,
Yes.
still working.
That
I
is
don't know how he
really
does it.
great.
I don't know
No,
how he does it. I would love to be able to work like that, but I no.
I know. I'm over here on the East Coast
Right.
thinking I'll have a leg up, like, oh, I'm up
Hmm.
at 6 a.m. working, and then so is he. He replies
Right.
right away, and I think you're in
Right.
California.
Well, and you know what else too is I'm working on my bachelor's degree. Just a year ago I got my AA degree. Now I'm working on my bachelor's degree, and you know everyone, Chris included, everyone is so supportive of me. I always, email, when I've done well on a final exam or something like that. Everyone responds, "Great job, Tammy." It's just, the support that you get. And then they understand too that, I need to put some time aside for school as well. Everybody understands.
Yes,
So yeah, it's just so wonderful. So
it really
wonderful.
it every I'll tell you recurring themes I've heard just from talking to team members is people say it feels like home, it feels like a family. I'm a name,
Mhm.
not a number. And
Mhm.
to find a place and a team to work with like that, I think is just so valuable.
Mhm.
And when you have happy employees, I mean, everybody benefits. The clients
Right.
benefit everybody, and
Right.
it's been so wonderful meeting so many happy people who love what they
Right.
do. And you work on vacation. I love that.
Right. Right. Well, and that's something else too. Chris or someone from the executive team will send an email to, 4 or 5 individuals saying, I need this done.
Mhm.
And 4 or 5 individuals will jump on it and say, I'm on it.
Yeah.
So, everybody's willing to help. So I can't explain the amount of, support and how much everyone wants to do so well for this company,
Mhm.
these companies, I should say.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
and you're
Mhm.
only growing. Um,
Right.
yeah, and for those of you who are just tuning in, I'm Jackie, and this is Tammy Mette with our accounting with all the entities that we've got under the Veterans Rideshare umbrella. And if you are looking, we are currently hiring. We're looking for drivers for VRS trucking. We're also looking for dispatchers. So do check us out. I'll put our website up again. You can find some opportunities at veteransrideshare.com. So I love your story. I love that you are part of the military family, that it was a great experience. Do you have a big takeaway from? I know in the Army we say Army brats. Is there, they don't say Navy brats, do they?
They do.
Do
They
they?
do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't
Or it's usually just military brat. So
military
that's what
brat.
that's what, I called myself growing up. I'm a military brat.
So do you have one big takeaway from your experience, either moving or living abroad, or what would you say?
Appreciation of the United States. That is my big takeaway is that, I look back on, living in the Philippines,
Mm,
and at the time it was considered a third world country, right?
yeah.
Um, my big takeaway is that everyone that lives in the United States, that is a citizen of the United States, needs to appreciate what they have. Because if you were to ever live in a third world country for an extended amount of time, you would know that what you have today is the greatest thing on earth.
Mm.
That is my takeaway.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. And now you're working with a company who helps give
Hmm.
back to those who fight for these freedoms and these
That's
rights and
right.
privileges. That's
That's right.
wonderful.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, Tammy. It's been wonderful getting to know you and hearing your
Hmm.
story. And I thank all the viewers for watching today. Is there anything else you would like to add before we sign off?
No, I just want to thank you for having me. I enjoyed it. I was a little nervous, but yeah, I enjoyed it.
My pleasure. It was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to meet
Yeah,
you all in person one of these days. I'll have to come
yeah,
out to Vegas. Be a veteran.
absolutely. I'm here for you.
All right. Well, thank you all for watching. Again, if you are interested in joining our team, you can look at veteransrideshare.com. I'm Jackie. This was Tammy Mette, and we thank you so much. Hope you have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Bye.